The Steamship Authority is a proud partner in many Falmouth community events, including town meeting coverage. And for good reason. Not only do we have a terminal and offices here, about 1/3 of our employees call Falmouth their home. We always work hard to serve our neighbors, friends, and the traveling public. We recently put 7 new electric buses into service at our Falmouth parking lots. Soon we'll be adding new vessels to our fleet, continuing work on our energy-efficient Woods Hole terminal buildings, and adding solar panels at our largest parking lot. At the Steamship Authority, we're serving the islands. And you.
Welcome to the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce.
The Falmouth Chamber is dedicated to working on behalf of our members to make Falmouth a better place to live, work, and conduct business. We are committed to developing the economic, cultural, educational, and civic interests of our community and welcome the support from all organizations to achieve our combined goals. Whether you call Falmouth home, are a summer resident, or a visitor, we hope you take advantage of all that the Chamber has to offer.
Hosting services for fctv.org are provided by MegaNet Communications. MegaNet offers a wide array of internet services including Mega Backup Cloud Service, server colocation, T1, fiber, Metro Ethernet, as well as telephone services such as hosted PBX and digital voice. Their #1 goal is to keep your communications network up and running and allow you to focus on growing your business. 877-634-2638 or meganet.net.
Good evening and welcome to the meeting of the Falmouth Select Board. It is Monday, April 7th, 2025. It is exactly 6 p.m. and I would ask that you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, as you can see, we have one select board member who is with us electronically. We have another select board member who cannot be with us this evening. And so I'm going to flip-flop our business items, and I'm going to take number 2 first. And I will turn that over to Mr. Renshaw.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening, Select Board. Select Board will consider a vote this evening to place on the May 20th, 2025 election ballot a Proposition 2.5 debt exemption ballot question for the engineering, design, and construction of the Great Pond Phase 1 sewer project to include the sewer lines, pump stations, force main to convey the wastewater to the town's main wastewater treatment facility and the rehabilitation of the town's existing northernmost open sand beds for discharge of treated wastewater. Madam Chair and Select Board, the sewer extension project, as you all know, is a necessary step to restore the health of the Great Pond watershed. In accordance with the water quality management plans, which have been thoroughly vetted by consulting engineers, town staff, and the Department of Environmental Protection, 100% of the nitrogen discharge from septic systems in the lower portion of the Great Pond watershed needs to be removed. The town has initiated the application process with the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust to obtain 0% loans for this project. If successful, approximately 92% of the project costs will be eligible for these 0% interest loans. Staff have recommended the debt for this project be financed with a Proposition 2.5 debt exemption. The Finance Director has confirmed that by drawing down funds from the town's capital and debt stabilization fund, the town can pay for the new debt created by this project without a tax increase, provided the anticipated subsidies are received. The Finance Committee has recommended approval of the Great Pond Phase 1 Sewer Project Article 15, under Article 15 of the April annual town meeting. The funding for this project, per the Finance Committee recommendation, is contingent on approval of a Proposition 2.5 debt exemption ballot question at the town election. The town clerk has advised that the election ballot must be finalized no later than April 15th. Given this election ballot timeline relative to town meeting and the select board meeting schedule for the month of April, this vote to place the debt exemption ballot questions on the election ballot has been scheduled for the first day of town meeting this evening. A 2/3 vote of the select board is required to place a debt exemption question on the election ballot. And Madam Chair and Select Board, my recommendation is to vote the approved recommended motion as printed in the ballot. And you can see the ballot question listed in your board package this evening. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Renshaw. Questions from the board?
Nope.
Ms. Goldstone?
No questions for me, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I would entertain a motion.
No Madam Chair, I vote to approve the recommended motion.
Okay, we have a...
I'll second Ms. Goldstone's motion as printed.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion amongst the board? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Roll call, please.
Heather.
Goldstone, aye.
Zelinski, aye.
Brown, aye.
Taylor, aye. You have your 4 votes. Thank you, the motion passes. Okay, we're going to move into number 1, and thank you for your patience. I needed to flip-flop those. Reconsider a vote to send the petition to stop Holtec from evaporating nuclear waste to the town clerk to be placed on the May 2025 annual election ballot. Mr. Renshaw, I know you've documented some history on this, and I know you've had conversations with town council, and so I'd like also town council to be involved in talking to us about
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. As you all recall, this was up for consideration for a vote on the March 10th meeting, select board meeting. Following that meeting, I asked town council to do a review, and I'm going to turn it over to town council O'Keefe to kind of go through the results of her research and her recommendations.
So in between that, that March 10th meeting, we got another alternative suggestion from Select Board Member Ms. Scally. So that's where we needed to relook at source and procedure.
Correct.
So thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I did look at this, and my curiosity was sparked because ballot language is required to be very precise. There is a method to the madness. Some ballot questions have preordained language, so from the DOR. You have to do it exactly like they ask you to, for example, for Prop 2.5 questions. So I started looking to see if the same was the case for non-binding advisory questions. And I consulted with some colleagues who are considering other petitions for non-binding advisory questions at the same moment. And we also consulted with Michelle Tassinari, who's the Director of Elections at the state. The advice and counsel that I received as in conjunction with these conversations is that these requested petitions for non-binding advisory questions for the ballot are treated very similar in the way that we treat petition articles for town meeting. You have to accept them as they are, word for word, and then they are either, you consider them with an up or down vote. You either accept them for the ballot or you reject them. Now the select board has an opportunity to do their own language for the ballot, but if you want to go that route, you also have to reject the petitioner's language. Here, where the suggested edits were very similar to the language that was offered by the petitioners, I don't see that there's a need to consider the suggested language, the suggested edits. My recommendation instead would be to simply vote on the petitioner's language, yes or no.
So what I'm hearing you say is that if we want something to move forward to regarding this issue, it would be your advice that we move it as presented at the March 10th meeting by the petitioner.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Would it be correct to say that you didn't find any fatal flaws in the language of the presented petition?
No. There weren't any.
Okay, great. I would say then, I would move that because that's what the petition was all about. They signed on to that language, all the petitioners who signed the petition. So I think that carries more weight.
I'll second it.
And that was a question that I had of the town manager, that if we were going to somehow rework this, would it have to go back to be re-signed? So it just seemed like it was not the best path. So do we have a motion, Mr. Brown?
Unless there's a specific written motion, we would just make a motion that we put this ballot question on the ballot.
For March 10th.
As presented by the petitioner?
As presented by the petitioner.
I'll second Mr. Brown's motion, Madam Chair.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to present as presented by the petitioners. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion amongst the board? Seeing none. All those in favor by roll call, please.
Brown, aye.
Goldstone, aye.
Zelinski, aye.
Taylor, aye. Motion passes. It will go to the ballot.
Thank you all
Thank
for
you very
bringing that.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on. Discuss vote motions and reports on the April 2025 annual town meeting as needed. Are there any motions or reports that we need to look at?
Yeah, so there was a misprint in the table in Article 4 in tonight's warrant booklets. We have, last Thursday, we had our meeting with town moderator in preparation for town meeting, discuss it with the town moderator. The plan for tonight is to, there's a few slides that I'm going to go over. When the moderator goes through the warrant, I think it goes through typically 2 times, each of the articles.
For the blanket vote.
For the blanket votes.
No.
So no, I think town moderator's comments and thoughts were that it was a Scrivener's error. But in case there are any questions, we're prepared, staff is prepared to address those through a series of slides, short slide deck that we've prepared.
So if I could just briefly elaborate on that. So if you look at the table that's printed in the warrant, the column headings are just off.
Right.
So the moderator is going to mention that, and then we'll have slides that are going to be displayed during the blanket vote discussion. And, you know, we'll see where it goes from there.
He said he's going to direct traffic, do that at the meeting that we attended anyway.
Right.
He's fully aware of that, right?
Right.
Yep.
So there's a shot, you know, that it might go on the blanket vote, but if not.
Would you should suggest that somebody be prepared to speak from the podium as they're going through those slides, or just let it go through the slides?
Yeah,
and
we
then-
can't discuss during the blanket vote.
Okay.
Anything
That's the only,
else?
the only update report.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, and we're going to discuss, consider, and vote for the September 2025 town meeting. And at our pre-meeting with the town moderator, I had put forth November 17th as the November town meeting date.
I'll move November 17th for the November town meeting, Madam Chair.
Okay?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion amongst the board? Seeing none, all those in favor by roll call, please.
Zelinski, aye.
Brown eye.
Goldstone, aye.
Taylor, aye. Unanimous, motion passes. Thank you. Any other business at this time that you're aware of, Mr. Renshaw?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Consider a request for the approval of a variance to the sign code 184-30, movable, portable, or mobile signs D1A for the placement of 10 sandwich board-style signs to advertise the 2025 Daffodil Days event at Spore Gardens on April 13th through April 26, 2025.
Same as every other year, right?
It is. A name change this year. I think they've changed the name slightly, I believe, the days.
I don't remember between Daffodil Days,
Well,
D-A-Z-E.
Yeah, yes, they changed that. It used to be D-A-Y-S.
Wildcats.
But otherwise, all the same.
Okay.
Days and Do we need to move it, or? I'm not
Someone
gonna
needs
hold
to
it.
move the consent agenda.
I'll move the consent agenda.
Okay, I'll
Madam Chair.
second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to move the administrative order on the consent agenda. Any further discussion amongst the board? Seeing none, all those in favor by roll call, please.
Zelinski, aye.
Brown eye.
Taylor, aye.
Goldstone, aye.
Great. Thank you, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion amongst the board? Seeing none, all those in favor by roll call, please.
Zelinski, aye.
Brown eye.
Taylor,
Goldstone,
aye.
aye.
Great, we're adjourned.
The Steamship Authority is a proud partner in many Falmouth community events, including town meeting coverage. And for good reason. Not only do we have a terminal and offices here, about 1/3 of our employees call Falmouth their home. We always work hard to serve our neighbors, friends, and the traveling public. We recently put 7 new electric buses into service at our Falmouth parking lots. Soon we'll be adding new vessels to our fleet, continuing work on our energy-efficient Woods Hole terminal buildings, and adding solar panels at our largest parking lot. At the Steamship Authority, we're serving the islands and you.
Welcome to the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce.
The Falmouth Chamber is dedicated to working on behalf of our members to make Falmouth a better place to live, work, and conduct business. We are committed to developing the economic, cultural, educational, and civic interests of our community and welcome the support from all organizations to achieve our combined goals. Whether you call Falmouth home, are a summer resident, or a visitor, we hope you take advantage of all that the Chamber has to offer.
Hosting services for fctv.org are provided by MegaNet Communications. MegaNet offers a wide array of internet services including Mega Backup Cloud Service, server co-location, T1, fiber, Metro Ethernet, as well as telephone services such as hosted PBX and digital voice. Their #1 goal is to keep your communications network up and running and allow you to focus on growing your business. 877-634-2638 or meganet.net.